Some devils. J-Dog back to answer more goddamn questions. Questions we're going over today are on the video. Tell your parents and brother to take a hike, brah brah. Oh yeah, the guy that was this ought to be good. See if anybody gave him some fucking advice in there too, rather than just looking for strictly question marks. What was the verdict on that, dude? I forget the guy that asked, but about he's concerned that his brother didn't want him going. Like, tell your brother to go fuck himself. Like, why was he gonna say? Anyways, first question mark I'm seeing is from Human Brisket. Dog, don't you hate that? Question marks. Hate what, brah brah? The more extreme the band, the less people in the pit. I don't know if I've seen that. I remember seeing Goreaphobia and only 12 people in the pit, and I would see these stupid ska bands would have like 50 people moshing all crazy. I got to be honest. At most recent shows, and I don't know if it's just a thing here in the fucking land. Pretty much there's always at least a mini pit. People going in for the extreme bands, non-extreme bands. I mean, shit. I mean, people were going fucking ape shit at Mortician back in September. And Christian, there was decent pit. Not as much as Mortician. Cannibal and shit to be expected. Goreaphobia, though, what are you referring to? Are you referring to in recent times, or are you referring to when they were active in '91? I expect that back then. I mean, just metal in general was way, way, way smaller. That's why when people kind of talk about metal dying off or just worried in any sense, it's not going anywhere. It's way bigger now than it was in the early '90s. I mean, it's not even a question or close. Because I could see the size difference just from when I was going to shows, and I was, from talking 91 and shit, I was already a few years late to the game. I was late '90s and early 2000s. I mean, it was again like unless you were going to the bigger bands, like I remember like when I saw like Emperor, Death, Morbid Angel, Cannibal Corpse, Deicide, Damien Borger, Cradle of Filth. Those were like the bigger bands I saw. Outside of that, almost every show I would go to, there would never even be 100 people. If Exhumed played, there would be 100 people, 30, 40 people maybe. The Mortician, same fucking thing. Any of the underground acts, deceased, there was no 100 fucking people there. Hell, even in Incantation back then, there were. I'm trying to think when I first saw Incantation, they headlined. Remember when they played with Funerus and shit? Maybe at that one, I don't think that was the first time I saw them. I want to say that was out of town. Maybe that was in Pittsburgh or so. We drove for that one. There was like maybe 100 people at that. Remember when Severe Torture came over here? It was Severe Torture, Burial, or at least Severe Torture and Burial played for sure in Pittsburgh. We went to that. I can't remember. Severe Torture did play Cleveland, but I can't remember if Burial came with them. And I forget who. I think it was with Pessimist as well. At least for Pittsburgh, there was not 100 fucking people there. Definitely not 100. But shows of that caliber now, bands of that caliber, the newer band, death metal band or whatever, a $20 spinner where they got one album or whatever. All the shows I go to, there's always at least 100 people watching that. I think the only show in the past, I'd say 2 years that I've gone to, there's two shows I can think of now. In the past year or two, let's say 2 years, that I could think of that I did, there was less than 100 people, but even then, there was still probably more. Actually, there was more than Mortician 99, was Forged in Gore. That was at No Class. There's probably about 40 people or so watching the band. And that's not counting people sitting over at the bar, too. I'm sitting watching the band. So, again, it was still definitely more than the goddamn Tish when I saw him on the fucking Chainsaw Dismemberment tour. Forged in Gore, and then it was also another show on Akron. I forget all bands. I think it was Noxus and some local death metal bands. There was probably, let's say, about 40 people watching that as well. But those are just two kind of like local. Well, they weren't kind of. They were just local band shows. And even those had more than when I saw Morticians, Exhumes, and probably I'm trying to think the very first time I saw Incantation. I can't remember. I've seen them so many times back in the day, but I know I've definitely seen them with small crowds. Definitely more than Deceased when I seen them back then. So yeah, metal's definitely bigger than fucking ever. So if you're referring to Goreaphobia in the '90s, no pit, as opposed to you're seeing bands now, that's a little bit of an unfair comparison. Audio WhatsApp. Hi, what shirt is that you have on today? Can't read the logo. Thanks. This video, it's miasmatic necrosis, what I was wearing. That's what it appears to be. And Horn Spawn 666, what's up, J Dog? Did you hear about Listen to Records doing the first 3 Suffocation albums on Picture Disc? No, I didn't, but it's kind of about time. But at the same time, they're a little late to the game because Effigy of the Forgotten and Breathing Spawn, I know there's a bootleg picture disc of both of those. Look fucking nice, too. I own them, of course. And then I'm assuming you're just because we say first 3, I'm assuming you're omitting Human Waste, which is their best album. But even that exists on fucking Picture Disc officially. I own it, of course. So the only one they'd be missing that's kind of like, oh, that's cool, because it hasn't come out at all, would be Pierce from Within. And yeah, Pictures that'd be cool, for sure. I think all the classics should be on 12-inch Picture Disc. It blows my mind. Like to me, like and guys that don't like Picture Disc, I'm like, even of your favorite album, that doesn't make sense to me. Like let's say Effigy of the Forgotten is one of your favorite albums of all time. Why would you want a picture this of that? Just like at least like put it on your wall. You keep it in the hard outer polys. That's what I do, so the record don't get scratched or collect dust over the years. Just put a thumbtack right in the fucking center hole. When you got a wall of them, just kind of like your favorite albums. It's kind of like just a fucking trophy on the wall of something that you really really like. Now, don't get me wrong. I understand. I don't need a picture disc of every single band I listen to. You know, if a band is just like, some new band I think is pretty good, I don't need a picture disc of that either. But at least your favorites and shit, or the ones that you deem as tens, makes no sense to me. Like, why you want that? Like, Possessed Seven Churches. Why would you want that picture disc? A classic of classics of all time, just on your goddamn wall. You go to that, you go in someone's living room, and it's covered in a wall of fucking, you know, Welcome to Hell, fucking Don't Break the Oath, Seven Churches, Hell Awaits. Picture this. Effigy of the Forgotten, that just screams this guy's in the metal. That says to me. Go in there, you just got a goddamn fucking Raiders fucking top, Raiders goddamn blanket or something on your couch. This guy ain't in the fucking metal. So I mean, it doesn't come off that way, anyways. First looking into it, you know what I mean? Like you go, you see Athnar's little fucking metal room. It's similar to mine, although his is bigger than mine. It's like its entire basement. Go there's pictures all on the wall. Yeah. Guy that I knew prior to ever going to his house, which has been quite some time now, was in the records, still into collecting records. His wall's covered in pictures too. I mean, it's kind of like a no-brainer. Yeah, who doesn't know that? All actual record collectors, that's kind of what they do. Maybe not all, but that's just kind of a. I don't know. If you're into it, that to me could come off as. It should just automatically kind of come off as cool to you. Where I got the idea to start my picture disc wall, I've obviously restarted a few times because I've been in a few different locations over the years. But every office, home office, metal room, whatever the fuck you want to call it, I've had since I moved out of my parents' house. I've always had a picture disc wall, right? Pictures on my wall. And where I got the idea was from Metal Lucifer Heavy Metal Chainsaw. He had a bunch of LP covers or just LPs on his wall. And they weren't picture disc though. And I was like, why not just do a picture disc? That'd be even fucking cooler. Because most of my picture discs I don't listen to anyways. Because, for example, if I'm going to listen to Seven Churches, why the fuck am I going to put on the picture disc? Picture disc just for fucking looks cool, right? And I just collect it, and I don't mind buying another version of a record that I love. I'm going to listen to either a CD or one of the LP variants that I have. So, since you're not going to really get spun anyways, put them on your walls. Nice fucking awesome decoration. That's the way I see it. But that's where I got that goddamn idea. And I'm not saying I'm the only one that got that started or anything like that by any means, but to me it was kind of like, yeah, if you're into this shit, it's a no-brainer of just that's fucking kick ass. Made sense to me, goddammit. RJCJ Rack, questions. J-Dog, what's your opinion on 90s vegan straight edge hardcore? Bands like Mourning Again, Snapcase, Downcast, and Earth Crisis. The only band I ever heard of in that category is Earth Crisis. Isn't that with the chick singer? I'd be curious to rehear that again. I remember not liking it, but kind of maybe thought it was kind of not cool, but kind of neat because when I first heard it, it was in the 90s, and I was like, probably the first female fronted thing I ever fucking heard. But I just remember it being kind of annoying. She'd kind of do the kind of tough guy voice, but then the highs, and you're like, oh, that's kind of like nails on chalkboard. I'd be curious to rehear it. Are they even still around? I have no fucking idea. Didn't know they were vegan. What is what you have? That's what annoys me about fucking vegans and shit, is that it's like a religion or a cult. It's like, it gets so annoying. Like, for me, like, one of my most favorite topics to talk about, but one of my most hated as well, is talking about anything nutrition wise. The only reason why I got into it, was interested in it, is for body composition, to build muscle, be leaner, and then on the other side of it, the health wise, because bodybuilding in itself is unhealthy. So you try to do as much as you can to offset things. Outside of that, I'm like, what do I give a fuck what another person's eating? I only got into it because the goal that I deemed necessary, it was, I mean, that the goal that I seen that I wanted to do, it was a necessity to get there. Like, you have to do it. Outside that, when other people are just kind of doing it as a, I don't even know what, I'm kind of like, to be honest with you, I'm like, that's the only thing that keeps me eating clean or looking at healthier foods is because my goals. Outside that, I'd probably just eat whatever the fuck I likes. Um, that's just me. I say, so when people get all up in arms over these carnivores and all these idiots, I'm just like, well, why are you concerned? Like, I don't fucking understand that. Well, the vegans just because they don't like when you eat animals and stuff like that. Moralistically, that's all right. Well, again, it's kind of like they just fall into the category like with all the politics and shit. It's okay, you're bitching about something that you're not going to change anyways. You're all of a sudden meat's going to get banned. I mean, just fucking from the industry of the meat industry alone, they're not going to let it happen. It's a fucking multi-billion-dollar industry. You're fucking dumbass talking about it on Twitter and YouTube ain't going to stop it. Think the higher ups and the people putting big fucking coin in their pocket, they're going to stop just because you don't like it. So you're just wasting your time. You're fighting a battle that you cannot win. You're literally going into a goddamn, you're going against a full fucking fledged army that's got fucking tanks and rifles and fucking rocket launchers and grenades and automatic weapons. You're going there with a pocket knife. One guy with a pocket knife. It's like, you have no chance of winning this battle. Why would you even go with it? That's what they're doing when I see that shit. Bunch of little fucking sissy boys with fucking pocket knives going into battle. Dude, you're wasting your time. Like, the 80 years you're given on this planet, or whatever, again, I've used the analogy, when I see people with these useless ass fucking agendas, you can be around it like that's your personal beliefs. I understand that. It's a waste of time. That's one of the reasons I don't push my beliefs on anybody. Number one, I don't believe in pushing my beliefs on anybody. Number two, it's not going to change that much. Even if I wanted it to, if I wanted everybody to think the way I do, which I don't, it's fucking useless. It's a useless waste of time. So that's what I see people that fight these goddamn, I call them fucking goddamn, yeah, pocket knife fucking battlers going against a whole goddamn army. That's what I refer to them as. I just literally see it. I'm just like, I just always laugh at them. You're just stupid, dude. You're the years you have on this planet, you're just wasting them away with this worthless battle. Pick something else that's going to make you happier in life and more productive, because that ain't going to do fuck all nothing. Outside of that, what the fuck do you give a shit what anyone else is eating? I sure as fuck don't. Goddamn question mark. Doubles. Here we go. Rodney Barr, J-Dog question. How do you feel about certain death metal albums that always get shit for the production sounds? Bunch of goddamn fucking sound engineers coming in, not music fans for the most part when I start hearing about that crap. Examples include Malevolent Creation Stillborn, bangers a mofo, and sounds fucking awesome. And Suffocation, Breeding the Spawn. Nothing wrong with how Breeding the Spawn sounds, but yes, that's what the pussy boys fucking say. The only problem with Breeding the Spawn is the songs aren't that great. Their songs are nowhere near as good as like on Human Waste and even Effigy of the Forgotten. They're just flat out not. They're not very memorable. I know. I own the album. I've listened to it at least 20 times. It's kind of a new listen every single time. Sounds cool. Good style of music. It's brutal. Frank's voice is still there. There's nothing to do with the production for me. These songs kind of are just lackluster and just unmemorable. I think they sound all right. You can still hear everything. That's my motto too. You can hear all the instruments. Vocals ain't blurred out. You're good to go, bro. This is supposed to be underground music. What is this goddamn fucking orchestra? We're playing jazz music now and all fucking types of stupid shit. Metal Rush. Do you want an instant regrets? Don't go to the show. Way our world is, they could all be dead tomorrow. So go when you got the chance. Get the chance. Yeah, not a bad way of looking at it. So that's the to Maryland guy who's concerned what his brother fucking thinks. He says go to the show. Everybody can be dead tomorrow. I mean, the odds of everybody at that playing a fest being dead tomorrow are very, very fucking slim. But it's more like you could be dead tomorrow. So yeah, I recommend go to the goddamn show, bro. The first, the fire still burns. Hey, J-Dog, if you had to choose just one band as the most influential death metal band of all time, who would it be? I mean, the band that's popping in my mind right out the gate would probably be Cannibal Corpse. However, you could debate, would it be maybe Possessed? Would it be maybe Death? Because all the classics like, I mean, not so much Deicide and Morbid Angel, but Cannibal and any bands after them for sure, they were definitely all inspired by like Possessed, Death, shit like that. So who would inspire more bands? The thing is it got like 3 replies. I'll see what's in there. Hopefully it's something relevant, not something completely fucking stupid. I know the fucking I guess cannibal haters or people just say fucking stupid shit. They're gonna come in just something dumb, right? It's like, well, I'm taking into consideration, as much as I hate to fucking admit it, they inspired a shitload of bands that I could care less about and don't like too. Let's say 2000, they probably fucking influenced some of those deathcore fucking garbage. So I didn't say that they're the most influential to just shit that I like. Like, for example, who influenced more bands that I like that I listen to? Possessed or Cannibal? Probably Possessed. But as bands as a fucking whole, looking at it unbiasedly, who influenced the most bands to fucking start a band? I would have to go with Cannibal just because they're the biggest fucking band, just by default. That's my guess. So in case you're gonna if you're gonna come in here and say anything fucking stupid, at least have a good goddamn intelligent reason for behind it. You got 3 replies. Let's see what fucking dumb shit's in there, because I'm sure there's something in there that's fucking dumb or just completely has nothing to do with even the goddamn topic. Let's see what we got. Richard Pittman. Fucking finally, a reasonable goddamn answer. It would probably be Cannibal, Suffocation, or Early Carcass. 3 fucking reasonable goddamn fucking assumptions or picks. The Fire Still Burns. Yeah, I kind of thought the same thing, at least in terms of how many bands they all directly influenced. Yeah, I mean, Obituary would be in there too, I would say. Well, it's hard to say. I mean, between Cannibal and Morbid Angel, I'd say. Because goddamn, even all the guys, even a lot of black metal guys like Ultras of Madness. So and Morbid Angel will be up there for sure. Like, for example, this guy said early Carcass did influence a lot of fucking people. I mean, there was a whole goddamn subgenre of gore grind that came out that just was Carcass clones and wannabes. Shitloads. Derek Koleski. I'm going with Death. Yeah, I can see the argument on that. That's at least not a stupid fucking answer. Everyone from 91 and backward has been greatly influenced by the first 3 albums. I agree. That's why I said you could make that argument. But do you think the first 3 Death albums influenced more total bands as a whole? I agree they influenced more good bands than probably Cannibal did. But if you're considering the lot, especially like I said, some Canoe garbage that came out in the 2000s, as much as I hate to say it, I'm sure some of them did start out because of Cannibal as well. Especially some of those slam fucking yo shit like epicardectomonies and shit. I have to imagine that they fucking were somewhat influenced by Butcher to Birth and shit. Not that that crap sounds like Butcher, but I'm just saying as a predecessor, I don't see them. The first thing they were picking up was Hellhammer. I don't get that vibe. Could be wrong, but just saying, I don't get that. I don't get that goddamn idea. Yeah, and he just goes on about, but yeah. So yeah, I think all those are. Nobody said Possessed, but I would say Possessed is got to be one in there. He said death metal too. So he said that most influential death metal band of all time. So summing up, I would say most reasonable picks would be Possessed, Death, Cannibal, Morbid Angel, Carcass, Suffocation, Obituary. I'll even leave out Deicide because I think all those bands probably influenced more bands than even Deicide, I would say. I could be wrong. That'd be my guess. I would say any of those 7 would be a pretty reasonable fucking guess. Am I forgetting somebody? Yeah, I would have to go with those. That's what I would have to fucking guess. Right, 02, J Master. Question. On the HHR site, how fast does the new arrivals get updated? You guys 3 receive shipments a week? No, we receive shipments every single day. I imagine more. Like, how does it work? Timeline and stuff from received to updated on the site. Cheers, bro. Not as fast as we'd like. Let's just say that. So the pack comes in from the day that it gets delivered. How long do you say it gets in the site? It varies, depends on what it is. But especially if it's new shit, like it's not a restock, because there's a thing with restocks, items we had, those are easier to get online. Granted, I don't do that department, but I just know that it is from hearing about it for years. Brand new item, At best, 2 weeks. At best. A lot of times, 4 to 6 weeks. And there's definitely some bitching in the background about that at times. I'll leave all the rest anonymous. Inside fucking shop talk. Goat Man, what would you consider to be the most offensive band of all time? For me, it's Vaginal Jesus. Yeah, probably them, or not as much as it used to be. But imagine fucking Rochus Brothers, banger too. Goddamn it, but that wouldn't fly now, especially with all the sexual talk, the gay bash, and stuff like that. But to me, it was just again, it was just funny, and the songs were catchy and memorable as fuck. Definitely a good goddamn band, but the oh man, the pussy boys of today, goddamn, would be fucking outraged. Dude, don't you got to have a goddamn sense of humor too? Um, that's how I took it. When I didn't know if the guys are serious, not serious. I mean, to me, if they're not in prison for fucking going out and killing gay guys, that's kind of what they're singing about on some songs. Well, then it's pretty abusive towards women too. Some of the songs, since they're not committing any of these acts, they're not in prison. They're not that serious. That's the way I goddamn see it. They didn't actually commit the acts, and I believe in freedom of speech. When I first heard it and shit, like which has been quite some time now, I just thought it was funny. I didn't take it as serious at all. I wasn't like, huh, these guys, these big fucking sexist bigots. I mean, that didn't cross my mind. I'm just like, this is fucking funny, and I was just literally laughing because I have a goddamn sense of humor. Uh, but yeah, all these fucking pussies and tampon boys, yeah, they wouldn't like it at all. I can only imagine how that would go over. I don't even know if you can find that shit on YouTube or not. But yeah, I would say Vaginal Jesus as a whole, but in today's wussy ass fucking society, because when the Rochester Brothers and shit came out, that wasn't as big of a deal. You know, this is just in the last 5, 6, 7 years where people care about that topic. Because again, that's the new agenda. Because the race card isn't working too much anymore. We've already talked about that anymore. That's exactly what it is. So they're going down the next agenda to distract we the people so we don't pay attention to the government. That's all this shit is. I'm telling you right now. It's for us to be hating on each other, fighting with each other, so we're not paying attention to how the government's fucking us and what they're doing behind the scenes, underground, etc. It's obvious as fuck. I've known this for years. The race card is wearing off because racism is very little nowadays, especially compared to 70 years ago. It just is. Anyone that says otherwise is just pretty much dumb. Yes, I understand there's still some racist people out there, but it's way less than it was than back in the 50s, for example. So, since that shit's whining and dying down, well, we got to come up with a new audience for people to hate. So they come up with the clientele that they do. And so, in this case, the Rogers Brothers wouldn't fly too well. So, Rogers Brothers in today's society, it might actually might out edge Vaginal Jesus. Not sure. Either way, fucking only pussies don't fucking only pussies get offended by them. Council questions, you know the fucking do. But the God's mouth get answered in the morning. Later, goddammit.